and welcome back to Reflecting Shakespeare TV Response Edition. My name is Erika, and I'm a manager and facilitator for the Old Globe's Reflecting Shakespeare program that we've been bringing to people experiencing incarceration since 2016. We've been so busy during this COVID pandemic through this program, Reflecting Shakespeare TV, and also through a correspondence course that's been following the same programming bit by bit. So before we get into that a little bit, let's bring on the dream team. Come on, let's bring on our friends, James and Niki. Hey, you two. Hey. All right. What's up?
Hi. Hey, everyone. It's me, Niki. Glad to be back.
Hey, everyone. I'm so glad to be here with you all. All right, let's get into it and let's hear from our guys at Centinela.
I know, right? It was exciting to read these responses and so rewarding, like cartwheel rewarding when they came back in from the mail. But hearing it out loud, it's so different. It's so beautiful. So let's get going.
Absolutely. And it's also so cool to hear them read out by our extended family of folks who've been able to join us on earlier episodes through this program.
I couldn't agree more. All right, so let's get into it.
Last time we came together, we heard some beautiful responses sparked by the writing prompts in episodes 1 and 2 of our last series. Now that we're about to get in, we're going to get in a little bit thicker into things. So in episode 3, our characters attend a masked ball. And we used that idea of literal masks to open up the conversation about the metaphorical masks that we wear. So here's some responses to our quick write. Behind my mask, I look, I can, and I feel.
Behind my mask, I look secure and confident, and without a care in the world. I can be more outgoing. I'm playing my position. I feel fearless. When I take off my mask, I look calm. I can be myself. I'm easygoing. I feel free.
Behind my mask, I look like I don't have a care in the world. I can pretend not to be scared. I'm really hurting inside. I feel like I wasted my life trying to be something I knew I wasn't.
Behind my mask, I look distinguished in my colored robes. I can command any space I choose to occupy. I am focused beyond measure. I feel constrained for what I intend to be. When I take off my mask, I look and I gaze into loving eyes. I can bend the universe to my will until I wake from my dreamscape. I am exposed to the elements. I become weathered, worn smooth, touchable. I feel balanced, whole, freed.
Behind my mask, I look vulnerable. I can exude confidence. I am safe. I feel secure. When I take off my mask, I look vulnerable, insecure. I can be myself. I am an open book. I feel liberated.
Oh, those were beautiful. So later in that same episode, we started to dig down even deeper and ask in a journaling question, what is your go-to mask? When did you start wearing it? What did you want relief from? What did you want to get from putting it on? When is it time to take it off? And how do you go about doing that? Let's hear some of those responses.
My go-to mask was being aggressive. I started wearing my mask of aggression when I was in foster care, and I was bullied by adults and children who teased me for not having new clothes. I started to use violence to gain respect. I just wanted to be treated equal. I first put it on because I wanted to be accepted. I wanted to be viewed as someone to fear, just so the bullying would stop. It was time to take it off when I learned about the ripple effect. The magnitude of crime and the impact my actions had on others. The magnitude of crime and the impact my actions had on others. I had to change my thinking, beliefs, and learn perspective, empathy, and remorse. I had to do an inventory list and address them one at a time.
My favorite mask is Stone Face. I started wearing it since elementary. I didn't want kids to think I was not cool because I wanted to fit in. So if I said less, less of my dumbness will be revealed. Thus, I won't be rejected. I thought I was dumb, not academically, but more in the common sense department, because I always heard my family say, "Are you dumb?" When I put it on, it's to show I'm nonchalant about everything. Nothing bothers me, or at least I portray it to be that way. When I need to be real with myself, I knew that I had to take it off. I knew that was the only way to solve this problem. I knew I couldn't face my issues with a mask on. I couldn't have anything between the issue slash problem and my truth. So I tell myself, self-talk, to brace myself for my truth because it might hurt. Then I reveal, then I unveil this imaginary curtain in my mind and start to look at everything with true sight, vision that is not distorted by my coping mechanism. It is a more objective point of view rather than subjective.
My mask I put on as a kid hid my terror from my brothers who would beat me and call it playing. I learned to keep my face blank, no emotion, sort of blend into the wall so no one would notice me. I guess all kids go through it, but it seemed really scary at the time. It's amazing how I'm 50 years old, but I still have those feelings. Being in here, I still put my blank or nebulous mask on. When I put it on, I mind my business and stay out of others, but I'm still observant on everything going on around me or near, and not just looking for incidents, but potential problems, period. Now, this mask also kind of shows not caring for others, but under it, I feel pain and sadness, knowing we treat each other the way we do, in prison of violence, but also that I'm tougher than you attitude. I would love to be where that's not the attitude.
My go-to mask is somebody that doesn't let anything get to him. I started wearing this mask when I got to prison, and I wanted relief from the harsh environment that I was suddenly thrust into. I had to be somebody that could take on anything thrown his way with no hesitation. I had to have nerves of steel in order not to break under pressure. I put this mask on because I wanted to get respect I felt I deserved from my peers. I wanted to look like nothing fazed me. I don't know when it's time to take it off. I can only guess it will be by the time I get out. It will be hard to go about taking this mask I've worn for a large part of my life, but I'll see how I go about taking it off when I get to that point in my life.
My go-to mask is one of indifference. I felt that living in a constant state of nonchalance wouldn't allow anyone to hurt me. It would help me know myself. So I couldn't and wouldn't feel anything. I wanted relief from my feelings of inadequateness, feelings of self-hatred. What I wanted to get from putting on that mask was emptiness. I didn't want to feel nothing. And most important, it gave me the opportunity to be someone different. When it comes to taking off the mask, I believe it comes down to one's personal growth and soul searching. If you don't believe you're conducting yourself in a manner that's only hurting you, then you're not going to change your behavior. You have to relearn to accept and embrace your own individuality and feel comfortable being true to yourself. Everyone's timetable is different, but the first step is recognizing that you are doing before you can address it.
My mask is one of strength. When I was a child, I was pretty much left to figure things out on my own. I was told that men didn't cry or hurt. Instead, I suppressed my emotions because I didn't want to expose my weaknesses. I didn't want to appear to others as a weak individual or that I was really broken inside. I wanted to show people I was a man and that I could figure things out on my own, that I could take care of myself. Why did I put that mask on? I wanted people to respect me. The problem was that I thought violence was necessary to gain that respect. I made decisions to take that mask off in 2017. Although violence is no longer an option or a tool I believe in to get my way, that mask tends to come back on from time to time. But by finding the courage to face the past, forgive and learn to let things go, accept the fact that life isn't always easy, we can humble ourselves by asking others for help or advice when we need it.
My go-to mask is the mask of a brave person. I started wearing that mask when I started middle school. I wanted relief from everybody bullying me, knowing that I was a scared little boy with no confidence. In putting that mask on, I wanted to get respect and for people to stop criticizing me and to accept me for who I was. The time to take it off is when I start feeling confident and comfortable within myself. So I go about doing that by being honest, caring, and having the willingness to be humble.
All right. And in our correspondence course, we took it further and asked for some poems on masks. Let's hear some of those.
Mask on, mask off. I mask my intentions because they don't understand it. I was 16 when I came in that mask and changed it. It was tarnished with ignorance. I was caught in my arrogance. I was talking to her, masking my romance. Then I got caught up in the moment. Oh, damn. All the things that I overcame, some things that I can't explain. 50 with an L, for real now. I'm sitting in the cell like, what the hell? Keep it ready. Gotta throw my copacetic mask on so I won't regret it.
When I was wearing a mask of aggression, I was only falling into deeper depression. Now my lesson is learned, another chapter being turned. The only way I can receive healing is the mask is being burnt. Now ashes to ashes. Now ashes to ashes. With my past as the dust. I'm no longer aggressive. Now I'm compassion and love. I'm holding myself accountable. I'm no longer blaming. I'm always uplifter, no longer shaming. My change of beliefs has created a change within me. Now I believe in hard work to have success on the streets.
The mask of sheer happiness hides the other feeling of crappiness. Underneath the smiling face looking upon all of you, not realizing just who you all are talking to. I appear strong and mannish. But as soon as I get in the cell, the task to take off the mask hurts. It does all but vanish. The true feelings I hide deep down inside. They hide, just waiting for the time and place to pop up. I quickly put the mask back on to start the flowing of tears, the fears of what I can't let be. I don't want anyone to see behind the mask of who I truly am.
They say I ain't got no rhyme, no reason. Watermelon rice, no seasoning. Hard times, no cheesing. Shots fired, heavy breathing. Ghetto chow, all they see. Straight A student, but they discount that. Judge me from how I look. Tilted baseball hats, no cap. Running in place, no laps. If I snooze, I lose, no naps. Label me a thug, so I became that. No fortune tellers in the hood, only self-fulfilled prophecies. Big facts.
So hearing those poems makes me think about how Eric Abercrombie made a spontaneous song out of the quick write in that episode. It was amazing, mind-blowing. Well, here's a little treat. He said if we received responses on masks, that he would make a new song using the work as lyrics. Let's check that out, how he slams this right here. So ladies and gentlemen, the one and the only Eric Maserati-E Abercrombie.
I put a mask on like a thief in the night, trying to hide how I feel. I put a mask on like a thief in the night, trying to hide how I feel. Ay, hard for me to say I'm in pain. Hard for me to say so many things. Hard for me to explain. Hard to keep it all contained, I can't. Behind the mask, I look secure and confident without a care in the world, like I've lost mental competence. What's no longer common is common sense. More common to try to mask the pain from things that you can't forget. Whoa, behind the mask, I look like nothing bothers me. Ay, but when I take it off, I feel tired and bleak. All my life, I've been trying to suppress memories that hurt so much I can't progress. Whoa. Life of a rider, to society a pariah, so hollow and fake, essence of a robber to take, innocent shattered along with my faith. Now I hang a mask of contempt in this place. The mask of your happiness hides all the feelings of crappiness. I put a mask on, like a thief in the night, trying to hide how I feel. I put a mask on, like a thief in the night, trying to hide how I feel. Ay, hard for me to say I'm in pain. Hard for me to say so many things. Hard for me to explain. Hard to keep it all contained. I can't. I can't. I can't. I can't. No lie. Yeah, yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. Oh, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. No lie, yeah, 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 yeah. Thank you.
Yes, I can't wait for this to be played inside so the guys can hear their words in collaboration with this artist. That was so great. All right, let's jump to episode 4. Now, in episode 4, we meet the character of Don John, who declares that he is a plain dealing villain. And he's looking to create some chaos, especially anything that could hurt his brother, Don Pedro. In our conversation with our guest, William Palmer, it came up that Don John was lashing out because of the pain he was carrying. And we posed the quick right. When I have had pain, I showed it by, others felt it as, I believed it helped me because, but the aftermath was. Let's hear what writing came back from that prompt.
When I've had pain, I showed it by trying to hide it as best I could. And that would be by using drugs, being careless, and by hurting others, letting out my angers on others. Others felt it as a threat or as if I'm trying to hide behind my actions. I believed it helped me because I would have others intimidated by me and it would help me release anger. But the aftermath was that I would just dig a deeper hole. Now my consciousness would try to conversate with me and remind me of everything and show that I'm doing what was done to me. And that is getting hurt by the same pain.
When I have had pain, I showed it through art. Others feel it as the art really speaks to you in a sense. I believed it helped me because I focused and it distracted me for most of the time. But the aftermath was kind of bad because I haven't turned to communicate the feelings with others.
When I've had pain, I showed it by involving myself in destructive behavior. I'd use drugs or alcohol. At times I would lash out violently. Others felt as I was a lost cause, as if there was nothing that could be said or done to help me. I believed it would help me because it seemed to solve things momentarily and others wouldn't view me as weak. But the aftermath was catastrophic. The aftermath wasn't just self-sabotaging. I was creating victims, impacting their lives in a negative way, which included the people I claimed to love. These were all innocent people who had no fault in the way I was feeling at the time.
When I have had pain, I showed it by, I just showed my pain through aggression and outward anger. I was physical in my actions towards others that were violent. Others felt it as, though I used to call my friends with love that display of aggression toward those who were not my friends and deemed enemies of ours. I believed it helped me because it never helped me, and those actions caused me to hurt others for pain I felt inside. But the aftermath was, the end result was that I ended up in prison for over 21 years. I hurt so many people because of my inability to control my pain.
When I've had pain, I showed it by not being interactive with others. In other words, I shut down and kept to myself. I avoid conversations in general. Others felt it as me being distant, not paying attention to them. Maybe it's me just being grumpy or upset. I believed it helped me because that was the way I dealt with pain, and I didn't like to burden others with what I was going through, for I'm sure they had their own problems to deal with. But the aftermath was I was pushing those people who care about my well-being away from me. It was the total opposite of what I needed at that moment.
When I have had pain, I showed it by hurting others. I didn't allow myself to become vulnerable. I choose to use violence to express myself, and when doing so, I notice that people stop hurting me for fear they'll be hurt. Others felt it as I'm crazy or were afraid to deal with me, so they stayed away from me. I believed it helped me because once I started using violence to protect myself, I stopped being bullied and hurt by my mother. It became a habit, my go-to, even when I was the one scared. But the aftermath was my violent past, led to my incarceration. But more importantly, I was progressing in this habit to where it became my identity, and I lost sight of it. Started out as a mask, and before I knew it, I was a violent person.
When I've had pain, I showed it by making others feel pain because that's what I am or was feeling. So I showed what I felt by making others feel the same thing or worse. Others felt as though I was acting out, not really caring about how I made others feel. I believed it helped me because sometimes I got what I wanted. I don't think it helped me because I already painted with a negative brush as being difficult. So in some instances, it hurt me more than helped. But the aftermath was seeing all those people I hurt turn their backs on me in my time of need. But they are slowly coming back around, and it's taking time, but they are coming back.
When I've had pain, I showed it by hurting others. I didn't know many ways to channel my pain other than what I learned from my environment, which was violence. Others felt it as anger or hatred. People thought I was mad at the world, and they were right. But the anger was secondary. Pain or fear was usually primary. I didn't understand how the world could be so cruel. I believed it helped me because I let it out. When I lashed out, the pain subsided, but never really went away. The water in the pot still boiled. It just stopped from spilling over when I lifted the lid. But the aftermath was destruction of myself and others. I was a ticking time bomb. Eventually, I exploded and I harmed everyone in my vicinity.
When I have had pain, I show it by causing others pain or chaos wherever I was at. Now, I use coping to ease my pains. And when my pains become overwhelming, I make my voice heard. I seek assistance. Others felt as messed up that as a young man, I was struggling to become before incarceration, was dealt such a troubled hand to play. I believed it helped me because their opinions of mattered to me due to the fact that they weren't all bad people. And as I see it clearly, most tried to get through to me on a personal level to guide me, but my pain was blinding. But the aftermath was I wasn't ready to see or hear what people were striving to educate me on. So I pulled away, which caused me a lot more pain. Years later, I am mending relationships and creating healthy choices because I get it.
When I have had pain, I showed it by the old me would tell myself, I have to let others feel what I'm feeling. And then I would terrorize. The new me walks into the pain because to resolve pain, you have to face it. Others felt it as well. As a man, most of us learn early on how to hide our emotions because it was a sign of weakness. Now I know that is a lie. And when you bottled it up, it only made things worse. I believed it helped me because, well, I thought the tough guy act made me cool. But that was only to my peers. Others thought I was inhumane or a maniac. But as a kid or a teenager, you really don't think those things through. But the aftermath was there. It was always incarceration, juvenile hall, youth authority, county jail, prison. Along the way, I hurt a lot of people. And for this, I'm very sorry, and I am ashamed. But every day the shame lessens. Because I know I'm giving back to the world I so often hurt in the past.
In our correspondence course, we asked the men directly why they thought Don John was the way that he was. Why was he behaving like that? So we received some really insightful responses. So let's hear some of those.
I honestly believe that he is jealous of his brother. Either he was the favorite growing up or he was unable to achieve something Don John couldn't do. So he is hurt and trying to blame others for what happened to him. So because he probably had to suffer pain, he has to hurt others as well. He's doing that by plotting something out with the love of Claudio's life. He's trying to make others hurt because he is miserable.
I think Don John is in conflict about his treatment from others growing up. He was born out of wedlock. The people stigmatized him as bad, which obviously led him to feel rejected. Don John seems to be jealous and enamored of his brother, who seems to be the popular one. The frequent comparisons between him and his brother may also seem unfair to him.
I think that Don John acts like that because he's jealous of his brother. His brother is a prince, so he probably hates that his brother has a higher and more respectable role in life, and he probably hates to be under his brother's control since he's a villain. And let's remember that he has carried this stigma against his brother due to Don John being born out of wedlock. He's the bastard brother, and he probably hates that so much.
It feels like no one understands him, and he will never measure up to his brother. He turns some of these emotions into anger, resentment, hostility. He is somewhat at war with the world in the sense that he doesn't care what anyone thinks. He only wants to do what makes him happy because he feels like no one else will ever approve of him anyway.
I believe that Don John is the way he is because he's jealous of his half brother. He probably feels like an outsider, and the only way to deal with that pain is to become the way he is. I think from what I've read so far is that Don John has had a hard time in life and is bitter, and as yet hasn't found inner peace. He needs to do a moral inventory on himself. Don John has a lot of problems. He's very selfish. His thought process is that nothing ever goes right for him anyway, so why not just cause mischief and be the villain? He believes he's brighter than everyone and only his needs are important. He feels this way because he's not the prince. Jealousy. And that's why he's trying to destroy Claudio and Hero's relationship, because Don Pedro treats Claudio with the affection that Don John wants.
He was afraid to feel and erect the armor of arrogance around himself to blunt any certain criticism. He's also jealous or envious of those unafraid to feel.
I think a lot of things that make him the way that he is. I believe the main thing is him being born out of wedlock and the stigma that carries. The society in general was really prejudiced towards such individuals and not treated kindly. Therefore, he has a chip on his shoulder in regards to how he is treated and viewed by the society in general. That is why I believe he likes to cause pain to have others experience some of what he has gone through.
Because he feels he'll never be equal to Don Pedro and that he'll always have to live in his shadow. So he does things to gain attention so he can be viewed as an individual.
I think Don John is the way that he is because he is seen as legitimate and the lesser of the two brothers. So he wants everyone to hurt and feel pain. This reminds me of a time when I was younger. My cousin's father came and picked them up to go shopping, but I couldn't go because he said he didn't have enough money for me. So I acted up and I got into a lot of trouble. I was hurting, so I wanted them to feel what I felt, which was anger, sadness, and the pain of rejection.
I believe Don John is always so sour because he lives in his brother's shadow, that he wishes to be more than the bastard brother, and in turn it makes him despise his brother because he feels caged or muzzled by him. The brother has always been the star athlete of the family, and I can relate to the feeling of jealousy that can accumulate, just like in Don John.
I think Don John is the way that he is because he has bitter feelings and a possible grudge held for being alienated his whole life, for being born out of wedlock. I would venture to say that revenge is something that would come easy to him. He would enjoy somehow retaliating for all this bad treatment, transforming this villain he speaks of. If you want to treat me bad, I'll show you how bad I can be.
I think Don John is just like every other human, a victim of the pressures of society. And I can say victim because I know how liberating it can be when you stop caring what people think of you. And as a result, you change your life doing things that might not be good just because you want to satisfy your social ego.
The number one reason Don John is the way he is he can't blossom in the shadow of his brother, the prince. It seems his brother lets him know this too by treating him like help. A loving friend or brother wouldn't do that. So he acts out because he wants his brother to really see him for who he is. He wants respect and freedom because he feels caged in his everyday life. It's stifling.
Oh man, those were so perceptive, right?
Who are you telling? I loved that. The wisdom, dropping bombs of knowledge up in here, for real.
It's so true. This writing is so rich. Okay, but we're going to keep these episodes as bite-sized as possible. So thank you so much to our readers from across the country, and a special thank you to Eric Maserati-E for his music.
Yep. So, well, in true Reflecting Shakespeare tradition, let's do a one-word checkout, one word on how we're feeling right now. James?
Informed. Erika?
Grateful. Niki?
Explosive. Yes. Awesome. So with that, let's close out and let's do the clap. You all ready? We're going to do 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Bye.